So, try number 2. I saw this in the TikTok audio thing, and it made me think I could use this for my intro, for my coming. Maybe it'll be a series. Hopefully, it'll just be one video. Hopefully, I'll actually make it. And so, I've created a conglomeration, if that's the word, of different Ramsey people. And I'm going to talk about how these people are all related and they're all in the serpent seed bloodline. I haven't listened to this song, so I don't know who the person is, but I just know the whole thing I've noticed a lot, especially since the yodeling Walmart kid thing with these Ramsey people. And I definitely believe that they're all in the serpent seed bloodline and that they all go back to the Egyptians and the Ramsees. And I'm going to talk about that eventually. And like I said, I'm not accusing this person who made the song of anything. I didn't even listen to it. I just saw the Ramsey part, and I thought that I could totally use this. I already have a playlist that I'm going to use for videos with different Ramsey people. So, you probably already know Dave Ramsey. I think he's the Hell's Kitchen dude, but I could be really, really wrong. But I think he was. I already said the Walmart yodeling kid. His name is something Ramsey. In fact, I was also going to use that whole DJ Suede remix of the yodeling kid to go off into a rant about how DJ Suede was used to push two industry plants that are in the serpent seed bloodline. The Walmart yodeling kid and Daniel Bergoli / the Catch Me Outside girl. And as I always say, when I talk about these people, I am not talking about these people to talk junk or for somebody to go talk junk to them. Not that people are stalker fans for me like that anyways. But I'm just saying I'm not saying this stuff to be rude. I'm actually saying it because the stuff is true. I'm not one of the people that's just talking and I just don't like these people or something. It's just true. And honestly, I feel bad for all these people. I feel bad for all the industry plants and industry people and the stuff that they're taking through. And I've met people, the fake you-know-who's running around Northeast Africa pretending to be the people, that people are now talking about what they're doing to the Palestinians, even though they've been doing, honestly, way worse stuff to them and other people's kids for forever and always. But okay. But yeah, people are now talking about it. I really feel like it's a fad thing, to be honest. Just like how, what was the other thing that those Starbucks girls used to put in their Instagram bios before the Free Palestine? It was something else, but I can't remember what it was. Just a lot of different social justice warrior stuff, but people not really caring or understanding the truth of the situation. But that's a whole other video. What was I saying? I don't even know. But point is, I've met these people personally in the serpent seed bloodline, some of them. Not high, honestly, a few high level, but mostly lower level people. And they're taking through so much bullcrap, so much SRE, so much trash. And it's they definitely are similar to Asians in the fact that they definitely have epigenetic intelligence. Because, like I said in another video, I think in the Gravity Falls breakdown, these are the only people you'll ever meet that can literally go through SRE trash their whole life and then go get a PhD. However in the world they do that. Because, it's so many of us that go through bullcrap abuse situations are just trying to figure out how to, get through elementary and stuff. But, they go through trash and then get a PhD. And I know, dissociation and DID plays a huge role in that, but still. And they're obviously very brainwashed by their family as well. Because you have to be brainwashed, which if you want to be honest, quote-unquote white people as a whole are just as brainwashed about history and everything else, just like everybody else is. But the serpent seed especially. But you could almost put them together, but still though, it's to be able to look someone in the eyes and tell them that you're Swedish, Irish, and German, and that you're quote-unquote white or Caucasian and European, but still believe that you're Northeast African and Afro-Asiatic, and that you come from this land in Northeast Africa that you really don't, there's definitely a lot of brainwashing that they go through to believe that. And I mean the lower level ones. The ones at the top, of course, know that they're not the people. So yeah, I'm not saying this to like bash anybody. I'm not even into that bashing people that are being exploited stuff that a lot of people like to jump on the bandwagon of. Like, I seen a video earlier of a dude talking about Little Tay, and he was one of those black conservative, not, I wouldn't even say you females type, but like always trying to make these videos about women, but it always seems to be targeted towards the girls in bad situations. Just like how feminists like say the things that they say, but like everything they do targets boys and girls, not even the messed up men that they claim that they're against. But as I always say, misogyny and feminism is anti-youth, and it's all a part of the anti-family agenda. So yeah, like Little Tay was talking about people that pre-ordered her OnlyFans back when she was like 9. But no, one thing I have to say though is that I thought Little Tay, I don't know. I just remember that like she came out around the LT Corbus era, but I don't know. I just thought that like she was like older than me, I guess, but I don't know. It's all really confusing. I mean, I used to think that LT Corbus was like the same age as me, but apparently she's a little older than me. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like how Sky Jackson or Zuri from like Jessie, people thought that she was like way younger than she actually was, or people think that she is. And now it's like, dang, she's older than me. And like, I don't know. It's like that. That's so irrelevant. But I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, it's echoing really, really bad in here, and I'm realizing that. So now I'm trying to whisper. So yeah, I know that was really irrelevant, but it shows how people who like have to play these different roles always have to either portray a role that's either way younger or way older. But yeah, this one comment was like, she's sick and blah, 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 blah. I don't see it any different from the people that were always talking about how much they hated the Catch Me Outside girl and how she was quote unquote bad and grown. And of course, the grown thing is an insult for people who had to grow up too fast, people who had to or are having to raise themselves, or people who've been essayed, especially girls, but really anyone. Like the boy I may have mentioned before somewhere, who fell into sex addiction early, as what happens to the best of us. He was having sex since he was like 8 or something, maybe like 10. Sometimes with people that were like pretty chomo-ish, to be honest. Other like screwed up kids in bad situations. And then people would of course call him grown. He almost got the bad black boy with ADHD label because he fought a lot due to his abusive Jezebelic mom fighting him a lot. Early sexual exposure, etc., etc. People called him grown. They would say that thing that they say in the South where they're like, people start to look older than they really are, younger, when they, because of like having sex too young. And honestly, I mean, it makes sense though, if you want to be honest, because I mean, all the soul ties and stuff really do screw you up, but like, throwing around the grown label, it's really just people have no accountability for like how they're quote unquote raising people. But that happened, and then when his mom OD'd, what was it? Oh yeah, people were talking about how horrible his mom was to him and his brother, and how like she was always trying to kill them at her funeral or like after the funeral or whatever. Because people know why things happen, but nobody actually cares. And he's honestly still in a screwed up situation. He's been like homeless pretty much ever since that whole situation went down when he was about 14, 13 or something. And of course he's becoming a you females dude, which can go into the last video that I just made, where like people expect, I don't know, these like traumatized, messed up dudes who have been having sex since they were like 5 expect to like get women that are virgins. And this is how eventually, for one, the lust getting worse eventually leads to like different paraphilias being on the down low if they aren't already, and pedophilia in general. But it's like just the fact that they expect to get someone who doesn't have the same issues as them, is why they feel like they need to get with people who are in their teen years and their 20s, which they call the quote-unquote prime for somebody that's teachable. How do you expect to be a quote-unquote hoe, which I guess the meaning of that has been changed, but then you want to get with somebody who's a virgin? And this goes into something else I've mentioned before, I'm pretty sure. All these little weird, abusive doctrines that people push come from flipped around religious doctrine. Like the whole women have to be virgins, but the dudes don't. They can have 30,000 STDs, and then they need to get with a virgin who's 10 years old. That's flipped around religious doctrine. What else? You can't defend yourself from abusive relatives or parents. That's flipped around religious doctrine. The idea that you can kill your kids, that's flipped around religious doctrine. It's also Baal and Moloch worship as well. And yes, people do say this. There's people that literally say at one point in time you could beat your kids to death and not go to jail for it as discipline. The recorder paused as usual, so I don't remember what I just said, but I remember the main thing is that these are the same people that complain about the slave trade, where the same stuff happened, but it's only bad when someone else does it. But also, part of the reason that True Yashra went into slavery is because of Baal and Moloch worship, but we still support it. And then I said something about how this is also part of how some people could get True Yashra mixed up with the serpent seed, because the one parallel is how badly the serpent seed treats their kids with the SRA sex traffic and other things that they do, and even other people's kids and other people in general. And that's like one excuse people could use to believe that they're the people. And all the other excuses are racism. But anywho, it even goes back to when they tried to crucify Jesus. Well, no. When they tried to get him ordered to be killed for disrespecting his parents and family, quote unquote. So yeah, people will say that these industry people are the bad kids that need discipline, but what people consider discipline. And it's I've said this so many times before, society definitely is a cult. How do you think we're going to eventually get into the NWO and one world religion? How do you think America is going to become the beast system oppressive regime that people like Celestial say is going to be like the Handmaid's Tale? Or maybe it was somebody else that said it first and then she mentioned it. Can't really remember. But, it all makes sense. People claim to be atheists, but I don't believe that anybody really is atheist. It's level 1 Satanism, but I just don't believe anyone really is for a lot of reasons. But it's everybody is literally in this one big religion where literally everything is about Caesar Borgia and flipped around religious doctrines to oppress people and to make certain people not good enough and to blame people for things that really aren't their fault.